This is Will Montgomery, former Washington Redskins center.
Yo, what's good, folks? This is Trey Johnson, the headbanger, yo, and you're listening to Mess Hall with Rally Captain and Tailgate Ted. Word.
What's going on, Rally? I'm liking that hat, man. Did you stitch it on yourself, or did you go to one of those spots in the mall?
One of those spots in the mall, brother. There's no way in the world I'm talented enough to do that.
Sure, man. With the flag, I mean, because are you putting all the stadium names on the flag yourself, or is someone doing that for you?
Someone's doing it for me, bro.
God,
I don't have time to do this type of stuff, man. I really don't. I live a hectic lifestyle.
I didn't know if you did home ec or something back in the day, man. And then next thing you know, you're like a seamstress.
I did, but nah. Maybe I need to. That'd be another side hustle, but no, I can't. I can't do it. It's too much out of my scope. How you been, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, and I don't think you need any more side hustles. I'm seeing that you only got a couple more spots left for the Philly trip, and then I saw that you just posted about the New Orleans fan rally at Pat O'Brien's. That's freaking awesome because I remember being at Pat O'Brien's back in the day when it was Larry Michael and Jay Gruden was here, and then running into
yeah, man,
certain people from the organization that were on the coaching staff drunk on Bourbon Street at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, we're all adults.
I'm not saying that's why we got our ass kicked by Drew Brees, but I'm sure it did not help. But it's
yeah,
awesome,
you're probably
man.
right about that.
For those that haven't seen it, Rally's got his flyer out for the New Orleans trip, and you can register with a QR code on there. I know it helps out find how many people, Pat O'Brien's needs on staff to make sure that you guys all have a good time. So make sure you guys check that out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just pause it and you'll see the QR code right there on the flyer. So I got a chance to do that.
Please register because they're asking me and I don't know. And the last thing that we want is to have less staff, or the last thing they want to do is bring in more staff and have to pay them. And then we don't have enough bodies to fulfill their staffing needs. So by all means, it helps them prepare for us coming in town, as well as gives you guys a great experience, because the last thing you want is to try to order something and it takes an hour. You don't want that. So make sure that you register with the QR code so that I can relay those numbers to them and that we can have a great fan rally.
So did you ask Pat O'Brien's if their facility's free for the fan rally during Super Bowl week when we all come back?
I haven't gotten that far yet, brother. Trust and believe.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, man.
It's on my list to do. How about that?
I don't know, man. I mean, the team is making moves. Last we talked, it was before the trade deadline, and now it's Thursday. We're recording this. Trade deadline has come and gone, and I got a little frustrated. I don't know if you are paying attention to it as much as I was. I doubt it because you're busy with the job and you don't have access to all that fun stuff right off the bat. But the Lions made a trade and they picked up, I think it was Zadarius Smith, that defensive lineman. So I'm thinking, damn, all right, the Lions, it's like the rich getting richer, right? Next thing you know, we're going to have to potentially go up against them. What's going on? How's it going to be? And we hadn't made a move yet. And I was listening on a delay on 106.7. And I'm starting to get a bunch of text messages about, I think we're getting Lattimore. Is it legit? Because you had talked to me earlier, the day prior on the show, like, is it the team putting stuff out there or is it agent? So I wasn't sure who to believe. Was it Lattimore's agent potentially putting something out there, trying to hype the market up? Because the rumor was the Chiefs wanted him and the Ravens wanted him, not to mention a couple other teams that probably weren't named. So was Lattimore's agent just trying to hype up the market and be like, oh, well, the Commanders are in this too. So, hey, Kansas City, if you want him and you want a three-peat, you got to throw some more stuff in here. Well, fast forward, Adam Peters does his magic. Next thing you know,
sprinkle me, baby, sprinkle me.
We're welcoming Marshon Lattimore to DC. And I could not believe it. I mean, what did you think the second you heard it actually was in? Because I texted you and you already knew.
Well, first thing that went to my mind was, okay, now St. Juiced won't have so much pressure on him to make plays and make it seem as though he's getting burnt every week. So that was honestly the first thing that went to my mind. The second thing that went to my mind was, okay, this isn't a rookie. And if he's healthy, he knows how to play the position, and we can kind of let him have carte blanche to do what he needs to do as long as the scheme is right. But the guy knows how to play the position, and that's what I'm happy about. I really hope that he's healthy. I'm not so sure that well, I shouldn't say sure. I don't care if he doesn't play this week. I really don't care, because I feel that we'll be okay. I want to I want him to play against our division opponents. That's who I want him to play against. So whatever it takes for him to get healthy, take your time and be ready to go for prime time Thursday night. So I'm hyped. I'm stoked.
I'm right there with you. And I'm not sure if he's going to play this week. And
Yeah.
I've got a couple clips from Joe Vitt and Dan Quinn and Adam Peters that are going to talk about it here coming up. But the first thing I thought was, all right, what did we give up? All right. Lattimore, Pro Bowl player, guy's a stud, one of the best lockdown corners in the NFL when he's healthy. What did it cost us? And looking over the trade details, I mean, Adam Peters is a freaking magician, right?
Yeah.
So this is the storyline, and I got this from the Washington Post, right? Training camp, we had Jahan Dotson, John Ridgeway, and 7 picks in next year's draft. We traded Dotson and a 5th to the Eagles for a 3rd-round pick and 2 7s. That 3rd-round pick from the Eagles is actually one that they got from the Dolphins, right? Which the Dolphins are trash right now. So it's actually going to be a pretty, high pick, and it's going to be good stuff. We then traded Ridgeway and a 7th to the Saints for the Saints 6th-round pick. On trade deadline day, so on Monday or Tuesday, we had 9 picks going into the draft. Well, we sent a 3rd-round pick, which was our 3rd-round pick, not the Dolphins' 3rd-round pick. Our 3rd-round pick is going to be a hell of a lot worse than the Dolphins' 3rd-round pick, considering we're 7-2, and I don't even know what the hell they are. We sent a 4th-rounder, and we sent the Saints back a 6th-round pick. So the 6 that we got from Ridgeway just goes back to the Saints, and we got Lattimore and a 5th. I mean, the stuff he was able to pull off, we now have Lattimore, and we still have 7 picks for the 2020-25 draft. I mean, a Pro Bowl lockdown corner. And oh, by the way, it's not a rental, because you and I talked about that too. It's like, I don't want Peters to go all in and do a rental, and next thing you know, it hurts us in the future. Lattimore has 2 years left on his deal. And oh, by the way, if he is hurt, heaven forbid, there's no guaranteed money on this contract. So you get out of this contract, and all it's costing you is, yes, a couple of day 2 draft picks, but he's only a $605,000 cap hit number this year. And if they do decide to keep him next year because he is under contract, he's only $18 million against the cap. That's if they don't restructure or give him an extension. None of his money's guaranteed. Players don't like playing under non-guaranteed contracts. So odds are he's going to want an extension. And I've got no doubt that Kingsbury is going to give him one, considering we've got $103 million in cap space next year to be able to lock him up, because top free agent corners don't hit the market.
They don't. But it's also contingent that he does the right thing here. I mean, I don't think that he won't do the right thing. But let's face it, he I don't want this to happen, but he could be a bust.
He could be. I mean,
yeah. It's up in the air.
Yeah.
But get him healthy, produce on the field, and like you said, the money's gonna come. And just think, man, a couple years back, we thought that Scott McCloughan was the best guy coming in, making all these trades and everything. This guy runs circles around Scott McCloughan. I don't even think Scott McCloughan is even in football anymore. Do you know where he is?
He was doing consulting last time I heard, just offering services. But all of the draft picks that he picked for us, they're gone. I mean, actually, There was a stat, I want to say it was Nikki Javala tweeted it out. 9 of 11 defensive starters are brand new this year on this team.
9 out of 11.
I mean, that's just, it's insane. And Joe Vitt today, and I didn't cut this clip of Joe, but he made it a point to actually give credit to the existing players, because looking at the defense last year, we were the 32nd ranked scoring defense. Now we're the 11th. We were the 32nd ranked total defense. Now we're 14th. We were the 32nd ranked pass defense, and now we're 5th. And that's without Marshon Lattimore, right? So you think bringing a player of his stature is only going to make us better once he actually steps on that field.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I think when you look at last year's stats, and we talked about it, guys knew that they could collect a paycheck and not be held accountable for it. And so they were just kind of just floating, if you will. And Rivera just didn't have the gravitas, if you will, to make guys want to play. He knew he was a lame duck coach. And so it was like, okay. That was the attitude. Now, maybe he didn't have that behind closed doors, but it sure seemed that way to the fans outwardly looking. But we have a guy here that says, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Son, you're bringing home C's. We at least got to have B pluses or A minuses. And if you don't have a B plus or an A minus, I can't use you. Whereas before, that C character, if you will, that C grade, what choice did we have? And I like the fact that they're holding guys' feet to the fire, man, because it showed these 10 out of 11 guys are making headway. They want to be here. They want to get paid. And now look, we're the Hawaii of football. Everybody wants to come now. So, hey, man, my hat's off to them. I say let's continue to run this thing the way it needs to be ran and win some more football games.
Amen. Amen. And I'm not sure who's happier right now, whether it's St. Juice, so he's not stuck covering number ones every week and then being on someone's highlight reel. It's like, remember they think they used to have on Sports Center or NFL Countdown, you got mossed.
You got mossed.
I feel every week it's someone's getting St. Juiced where he's just having like a PI on him or something. So I'm thinking St. Juice is probably maybe the third happiest guy in the building. I'd say Dan Quinn, number 2. I'm going to say Joe Vitt's probably the happiest guy inside there, because looking at Dallas's defense over the past couple of years, going back to 2021, they play a lot of man, right? They're a pretty aggressive defense. And that was Joe Vitt and that was Dan Quinn. But Vitt hasn't been able to do that, right? In 2021, they played 38.4% man coverage. That was 3rd in the NFL. 22, they were 9th with 27%. 23, they were 36.1 with 3rd in the NFL. This year, because of the personnel we have, we're 26th. They've been playing more zone, more cover 2 shell than man, which is 19th in the NFL. And the problem with that is, and this is actually Joe Vitt, a quote from him after the Ravens game, if we're going to stop the run with a heavier box, we need to win our one-on-ones outside. The problem is we've been playing a high cover 2 shell. We don't have a heavier box because you don't want those DBs, those corners, to be left on an island. That the issue is we can't play a ton of blitzes and we can't play a ton of man-to-man because we just don't have the people for it. Now, bringing Lattimore in here, that completely changes how Joe Vitt can actually approach his defense and the scheme that he wants to employ. And this is how Joe reacted when things happened.
And, you know, as we transition to Pittsburgh, everybody knows we have Marshon with us now, and we're excited to have him, man. I've watched this guy since he came out of college. He's a dog, all right? And I watched his interview yesterday, and he talked about his dog mentality, and that's what he is. He goes out there and fight. He get up there and press. He'll challenge anybody. So he's a great addition. And then also what's been just a really nice thing to see is the other guys in the building be excited for him to be there. You know, I didn't know if I was going to see some guys with their heads down because you bring in a talent like this. You know, some other guys might say, well, I'm going to lose opportunity. And they might be saying that. I don't know. All right, but that's the business. But nobody's acting that way. And so that's a credit to DQ and AP and the brotherhood and the culture that's being set here, that everybody is bringing them in, helping them, teaching them, talking to them. And as soon as we can get them out there, we will. When that will be, I don't know. Okay, so please don't ask me because I don't know when that will be. But as soon as we can, we will. With that, any questions?
When will he be out there?
That's
Sorry,
fine.
had to do it.
Yeah.
So no one knows what's going to happen. And we were wondering, okay, is this a phantom hamstring like Brisket had last year or Devontae Adams had before he got traded to the Jets? But he didn't practice on Wednesday. He was a DNP. And as of today, there have been no words while the media has been out there that he's practiced. So don't know what's going to happen. But for me, if it really is a hamstring thing, that is legit. Not one of those phantom hamstrings, those soft tissue injuries that you can't prove, then we need him for next week against Philly, right?
Yeah.
And I want to make sure he's there. Not that this game doesn't mean anything. This game is huge. This game gives us a chance to go 8-2. We haven't been 8-2. I think the stat was 1986. And we haven't been 5-0 at home. And I think this one's right because I checked it again since 1991. And we all know what happened in 1991. So we got a chance to actually do something, but the guy's got to be healthy. And I don't know if he is or isn't, but I do know once he is available, this brotherhood's going to welcome him with open arms because I think this brotherhood is all about competition. And Lattimore's a dog, man. And
yeah,
he played with three guys on our roster. So he and Terry were at Ohio State together. Same with Noah Brown, and same with, I think it's Jalen Holmes. So they know who he is, and they know how he can play. So it's just, he's not coming into a situation where he doesn't know anybody in this locker room. And guys have played against him before. The coaching staff might not be familiar with him like they are the other free agents that they brought in this year with like a Wagner and the Luvu and, you know, Jeremy Chin, but his name just speaks for itself.
The biggest thing, like you said, Ted, is health-wise, man. And we don't want, obviously we do want him out there, but if he's not a healthy go, we don't want that. So my question now is, they talk about clearing waivers and the doctors and all that type of stuff. This isn't one of those things where, obviously not, if you're injured, the whole waiver aspect of things. Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I don't know. I mean, obviously we took him injured. So how does that work exactly?
He had to pass a physical for the trade to go through.
Right.
So he passed the physical. That's it. It's done. He's a commander.
Yeah. I mean, I know he passed the physical, but so basically they didn't look at that injury aspect or just, hey, or he wrote it down and said, this is the explanation of why I can't go. And they said, all right, they gave him a checkbox because of it.
That's a good question. This is actually Adam Peters basically answering that during his presser.
Adam, over the last couple of seasons, Marshon has dealt with some injuries. He has a hamstring injury right now. What type of due diligence did you do on that current injury, and what's the expectation of when he can play? Do you expect him to maybe play on Sunday?
Yeah, so yeah, he does. He has a hamstring injury right now, and he just got in today, so we're just evaluating that. And in terms of due diligence, when you're doing a trade like this, and there is a player that could be injured, our trainer will talk to their trainer. They'll allow us to get the medical records and all that, so we understand the full picture, the full scope of the injury, or just their injury history, really. And so we got all that information, and really just taking it day to day. And he won't practice today, so you won't see him out there today. But we'll just take it day by day and put him out there when he's ready.
So our guys did their homework and talked to his training staff, got his medical records, and they still felt that the risk was worth the reward to bring in a guy like this. Now, those that don't follow the Saints, I mean, you usually don't follow defensive players in fantasy football, unless you're in a special league. He missed 6 games as a redshirt freshman with a hamstring. So this hamstring thing is not something that is new. He missed 19 of 43 games as a Saint in 2015, 2019, and 2020. He missed the Saints' last game against the Panthers this past weekend because of his hamstring strain. And that's when a lot of people were wondering, is it really a hamstring or is he just kind of BSing? But this is a soft tissue thing that has been something he has had to deal with since he was a redshirt freshman in college. And for guys like that are fast twitch and physical, it's always a concern that something like this is going to be lingering. And if you come back too soon, then you can re-aggravate it a hell of a lot faster. And next thing you know, he's out longer. And I want to say it might have been the Post article again I was reading, but we don't face any top tier passing attacks in regards to stats, except for the Eagles and the Falcons. So the remaining games we have on our schedule are more run heavy. So you have a lot of people that say, oh, well, we don't really need him. Well, I'm going to disagree with you because we all saw what running teams have done against us and even teams that don't run. I mean, the Giants had 142 with 12 minutes in the second quarter, right? You need to be able to have a corner that can lock down, that you can then dedicate a safety to stopping that run, which we have not been able to do. We've been playing that high cover 2 shell. So having him out there will help us shut down the run versus teams that just torched us. And guess what's going to happen in the playoffs? We're going to go up against run-heavy teams. I mean, the Lions, they can run the ball and they can pass the ball. And we need to make sure we're not a one-dimensional defense. You hear about one-dimensional offenses all the time. You don't really hear about one-dimensional defenses. And I think that's something that we are.
Yeah, you got to be balanced. And you know, you can kind of get away with it a little bit during the season, but as you go into the playoffs, and I can't even believe I'm saying playoffs for our squad because we just been so bad these past years. As you get into the playoffs, the competition gets better and the balance is better. The talent is better. So like you said, you need that. And whatever type of therapy that he needs, I'm sure that he's receiving it, because we would like to have him this week, but they said he's not going to be there. Next week will be the test. And it kind of reminds me of Deshaun Jackson when we had him. Remember, he was always having hamstring issues, being that speedy receiver. I mean, so, but he would come back, you know, at the most opportune time. So my fingers are crossed that, hey, we can pull a rabbit out of the hat and he will be ready for Thursday night against the Eagles.
I mean, we've got 2 games in 4 days. You know, I don't want to look past this game by any means, but 2 games in 4 days.
In 4 days. Wow.
That is tough for any NFL team, right? I mean, I don't think they would ever schedule a Monday night and then a Thursday. That's just, you know, inhumane. But 2 games in 4 days, and you know, that's my whole thing with B-Rob. Like, is he 100%? Because you know, Chris Rodriguez stepped up against the Giants, and the Giants defense, I mean, their pass rush, I'd say, is comparable with the Steelers' pass rush, but their run defense isn't the same. But speaking of Chris Rodriguez, hat tip to that young man. This is actually a tweet, and Nikki Javala mentioned it in her article, that Chris Rodriguez gave Marshon Lattimore number 23 for free out of respect. And this is a quote. He's a vet. I'm not about to sit here and tell him I need to freaking thousands of dollars for a number. I've only been here for 2 years. The end of the day, I'm the same guy. I mean, you hear players that just hold numbers hostage when things like this happen. I think Kirk didn't get his number when he went to the Falcons. I didn't think he's got 8. I think he's rocking something else now, right? And players sometimes do that, and players don't want to pay for it. But Rodriguez knows his position and then just gave it up. And, you know, I just hat tip to him, man. I just got a ton of respect for him to do what he did last week with 90-minute notice. And then now, I mean, he's a practice squad guy, right? He could have got paid by this guy. He didn't even want to do that. He wanted to welcome Lattimore into the brotherhood and make sure he knows he feels at home and that this team's got his back.
Well, it goes to show you that cliche saying, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because at any given time, your number can be called. And shout out to our coaching staff for continually prepping these young men in order to be ready. You know what I mean? Because like you said, a lot of guys, I'm on the practice squad. I won't ever be able to get in the game. Boyd, huh? Get it. I'm not ready, coach. BS. You're a professional. So here we are, and let's see if he gets some snaps this week. I tend to believe they probably will, because they may run B-Rob less. Or actually, I heard him say they're going to put him through the paces to see where he is, to see if they feel he can go or not.
Yeah, they're waiting to see. He was, and let me double check on this. He was a limited participant in practice yesterday. So I'm thinking that is a good thing. He was out there. We'll see how he does today. Usually it's how is he after kind of that workload. And I don't want to jump into it yet, but there was someone else that popped up on the injury report that I didn't know was going to happen. Austin Seibert, right hip, did not practice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if that's what's going to happen today. The report's not out yet while we're recording this, so we'll see what's up. But going back to Lattimore one more time, DQ mentioned what traits of his that he thinks are valuable.
Dan, of all of Marshon's traits, whether it's his ability to travel or his top end speed, what is the one that really lights you up?
Yeah, I think two, I'm going to say, David, if that's okay. One, I love the competitor to challenge. And that's what, this league is made of finishing moments and games and plays and third downs. And so when you feel that player rise, even get a little taller and stronger in those moments, it's not hard to miss. You've seen it. And so that trait I know he has. I can't put a speed on it and I can't put a metric on it, but I know what it looks like. And then I would say from the physical side of things, the ability to stay attached and make contested catches hard and fight through them. And that is what playing really good DB is about. Obviously, sometimes you play in zone and using vision, but when you got to attach and you got to play tight man-to-man to guard somebody to go win a down, you need to be able to stand strong and have confidence to do that, and Sean does.
So just talking about his stats this season, this is from Next Gen Stats. He's been targeted on 9.7% of his coverage snaps. Second lowest among all quarterbacks. You just don't want to challenge this guy. It reminds me of back in the day when Dion would just shut down an entire side of the field. Right? Mm-hmm. That's what this guy can do. And he has played, I want to say it was 85% of his snaps on the right-hand side. DQ said he's going to be versatile. He's not going to dictate where he lines up. To me, that means he's traveling. He is going with the number one receiver. Like back in the day, DG used to just go with the number one receiver. He lines up on the left, on the right, in the slot, whether he's the X, the Y, or the Z, he's moving with him. Right?
Mano, packing his bags. Yep.
He has, in 7 games, he allowed 8 catches on 14 targets for 83 yards. That's all he's allowed the entire season. And the longest completion was an 18-yarder. Right? I mean, that's the stud that we're getting when he's on the field. So when he does get on the field and can be out there, I've got no doubt this guy's going to be a massive difference maker. And I'm excited as hell about it. And this is actually what one of our listeners, Drew, had to say about the trade.
Hey, Steve and Ted, this is Drew. I just want to say I love this trade. I love it for 3 reasons. One reason is I think it signals to the team that the ownership and the general manager and the coaches believe in the team and are putting the team in a position for a deep playoff run and maybe even a run to the Super Bowl. 2, I think it really helps the defense. Not only does it address cornerback, but as we saw in Baltimore and even to some degree in New York, our run defense gets a little weak when we have to play 2 high safeties all the time. This gets us a chance to play man in coverage, which should get our run defense improvement. So we should improve on defense on all levels. I'm really excited about that. And then my number 3, and Ted, this one is a shout out to you. we should be able to get home tailgates for playoff games in January. How exciting is that? So, guys, looking forward to seeing you this Sunday at the stadium and HTTC.
I do like his last point, the home tailgates. It's going to be interesting to see. We might have to hire in some outside staff to help actually run that damn thing, because this weekend I'm running a little short. I've got some people that the problem, we talked about it, season tickets are so expensive. My crew can't afford to go to games, right?
Oh, wow.
Some of them don't have season tickets. They've just been getting tickets on the secondary market. Secondary market for this game is through the roof. Prices are dropping. It wasn't, before it was $300 to get in on Monday. I think the price is dropping to like $190 for a nosebleed. So they're just going to go lower and lower as we get to kickoff. But the problem is some of my crew doesn't have tickets. So now they don't know if they're going to be there. That means me possibly running 3 griddles, 2 deep fryers, and a 6-footer. So, but hey, this is what you got to do. Hey, maybe if Marshon's not playing, he can come outside and help me run the grill. I don't know. I'll run that by Commander's PR. I doubt that'll be okay. But
no, I don't think so, brother. Good luck though, but I don't think so.
Speaking of running a grill, were you there in 2008 when we played the Steelers?
No.
So those of you that were, it was a insane game. We were beating the Steelers. We knocked out Roethlisberger, and Byron Leftwich came in. And Leftwich just torched us. We didn't have a game plan for Leftwich. They had game plan for Roethlisberger the entire time. Meanwhile, right, you know when all of a sudden they let off pyro, there's smoke all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm inside the stadium. There's smoke inside the stadium. Like, what's going on? Why is there smoke here? What's happening? 9 cars caught on fire in the parking lot because someone decided to put their hot grill. I think it was under the car. Some of the reports say it was actually inside the trunk of the car, but they put their hot grill and they caught 9 cars on fire.
Oh gosh.
So a massive fire outside on the lots. And next thing you know, you can see the smoke coming into the stadium from the fire. Because I'm thinking, we're not scoring touchdowns this game. What the hell is up? And then they had golf carts parked in the spots where those cars were on fire. So when people went out to their cars, they just took them back to the stadium at that point because their car was destroyed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So that's how Mayhem gets those commercials, huh? Because of stuff like that. I always thought that was just commercial, good writers, but no, this obviously has happened before. So, and then now I think about it, I always see the signs that say, make sure your coals are out or something to that effect. Yeah.
It's actually, so part of my crew wanted to just watch the game lot. You're not allowed to tailgate in the parking lot once kickoff starts. You got to go inside. Yeah. And I honestly think part of that is because of this car fire, right? And they're also trying to curb like DUIs. We haven't had an 8-hour tailgate like we did that Thanksgiving year because DUIs were up. I think it was like some triple-digit number that I don't even want to misquote, but I know it was a triple digit. So that's why we can't have nice things.
Probably theft as well. I mean, there's always that element of something happening with people just walking through cars and seeing what they can find. I mean, it's just the world we live in. So I'm sure that helps stop that as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just bummed because my crew, they wanted to just watch it outside. But I'm hoping we can get them a game ticket once kickoff starts. But heading into this week, we were 5th on the power ranking. And we know what happened against the Giants. Now, 7-2. Where do you think we are now? Plus or minus 1?
Well, we beat the Giants. So I'm going to say 4.
You're going to say 4.
I'm going to say 4. Either we stay the same or we're 4. Uh-oh.
Right. I'm going to have to give it to you because I did say plus or minus 1. We stayed at 5th.
Okay.
So above us, you still have the Ravens, which, okay, makes sense. You got Buffalo, who's 7-2. the Chiefs, who are undefeated at 8-0, and the Lions at 7-1. So I think it's going to take a lot for us to break that top 5. But it says here, with the Commanders completing a sweep of the Giants on Sunday, it's fair to point out that they have fattened up a bit on the weaker part of their schedule, beating only one team, Arizona, that currently sits over 500. That takes nothing away from Jaden Daniels, who proved to be too much for New York and remains a very difficult player for opponents to deal with for 4 quarters. I'm a little worried about the run defense, which was porous in the first half before Washington went up 2 scores. That will continue to be tested by opponents, especially the next 2 on the docket, Steelers and Eagles. Still, as long as the Commanders have Daniels, they have a chance to win it. The rookie wasn't particularly special on Sunday, but he's been very good or better in most games this season. So far, he has absolutely been a franchise changer, largely driving Washington's 7-2 record, even while the Commanders have improved team-wide in several areas from top to bottom. And oh, by the way, guess who's Rookie of the Week again?
I think our QB.
Yep, Jaden. Just give it to him. Give it to him and pay out my bet so I can wake up again to another swole FanDuel account and be happy as hell. But I mean, I don't know what the other rookies did. I do know that Caleb, pooped the bed because that was the one game on the parlay that I missed. But it's just
he's slowly getting worse. I should say getting worse. I think that they're throwing too much at him, but he's the number 1 pick, and so that's what happens when you're the number 1 pick. You get stuff thrown at you, and a lot of times you don't pan out the first year. Luckily, our guy is, and I don't care about Chicago. So I'm focused on JD5 keeping us alive.
Yeah, and Jaden is he's breaking every record, just everything you can possibly think of. And he's seriously in legit talks for MVP. And if we do, I was joking earlier when I asked about the rally for Pat O'Brien's, but hey, if we do get a chance to have one there, how can you not? I mean, this kid has changed absolutely everything, the trajectory for this franchise. And it's so phenomenal to see. And, Schefter was talking about players wanting to come here. And I don't know if Marshon's here because he voiced his opinion and said, I want to go to Washington because the Ravens wanted him and the Chiefs wanted him. The Chiefs are, they're second in the power rankings and the Ravens are 4th. So you would think he probably would have wanted to go to one of those 2, and maybe we just gave him a sweeter deal. But the fact that we are in that mix, that we're just in that same sentence now, is all because of 5, right? And I'm not going to lie, I'm worried about this game. I'm worried about this matchup. And
is it because they have us winning by 3?
No, it's because Mike Tomlin is a freaking badass.
Yeah.
18 years, right? I don't even want to tell you the stat, but guess what his record is in 18 years coming off a bye. So this would be 17 years coming off a bye. Guess what it is?
Give it to me.
13-4 coming off a bye week. That's not good for us. Right? And Tomlin prepares his teams for plays. He has had an extra week to prepare for us. So that really concerns me. On top of that, the guy's got some massive balls, right? He benched Justin Fields, and Fields was 4-2, right? He was I think 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. It's not like Fields was just pooping the bed. He had a 66% completion percentage. I mean, they had a winning record, but he said, no, Justin, I'm benching you. Russell, to start the year, had a calf injury that came up, but they had Fields and Wilson. Thinking maybe they'll use Fields as like they use Cordell Stewart back in the day, slash, right? Line him up at wide receiver, do different stuff. No, they just let Fields take him to 4-2. And the next thing you know, they didn't even wait till the bye week. He just said, all right, thanks, Justin. Russell's coming back in.
Your services are no longer needed.
I think only a head coach that's been in the league for 18 years probably could have pulled that off because Tomlin's got the respect of everybody. But it worries me. And shoot.
I just think that obviously we don't see what they see, but in terms, it wasn't smooth as butter, so to speak. Yes, we're winning games, but we could win a lot smoother. And I think that that's the reason why they put Russell in, because of him being a true vet and seeing what he could do. But hey, Fields, he's nothing to shake a stick at. So I'd rather have Fields than Russell, I think. But
because last year we played them both.
Yeah.
We
and
beat
we
Russell
won.
in Denver,
Yeah.
and we got our ass kicked by Fields at FedEx, which is what it was back then. So
But Russell in Denver was a different Russell. I don't know what happened to him in Denver, but I was happy that we won. And you're right, we did lose against Fields, but I think that we could do better, I believe, against Fields than Russell, because Russell's pretty much seen it all, if you will, in his Super Bowl runs, his great winning seasons that he's had. But we'll see. I just know in 2 days in the wake up, that's what we got. And I'm hoping to be victorious, because Monday is a holiday, and it would be great to be able to have an adult beverage after the game, after I get home, that is, not driving, because I don't believe in that. After I get home, to be able to watch the late game and enjoy my adult beverage with a win. And I'm sure you'll be taking on a cigar.
Yeah, man.
After the game, yeah.
So I can drive and have a victory cigar. So that's,
you can.
Especially if I'm going 1 mile an hour in the parking lot trying to get the hell out of there. And say I'm on 202, I don't have to worry about it. But
yeah,
I can get you a victory cigar, man. You can light that thing going down 95. That's not a problem.
I don't think the missus would like that too much, but yeah, Now, one thing that I am going to do is I am going to record coming into the lots. Since this is a huge game, I would imagine that the red zone lot is just going to be packed. I never forget that game. I think it was the Giants that came in one couple years back, and just couldn't believe how far back the cars had already made it into the stadium. So the parking lot. So I'm going to record this and see where we are, because I really can't wait to get this game under our belt.
So the Steelers, there's a Steelers fan group that is throwing a massive tailgate in the red zone lot.
Really?
Yeah. I'm telling you, they're flooding our stadium, man. It's going to be crazy to see how many fans of their team, because their fans, they buy up tickets everywhere they go. No matter what stadium, there's people from Pittsburgh that, I don't want to knock Pittsburgh because a good friend of mine is from there. I don't know anyone from Pittsburgh that actually stays in Pittsburgh. They all move out of that place, right? And there's so many people from Pittsburgh in this area. The Caps play the Penguins on Friday night, and then we play the Steelers on Sunday night, right? So that gave their fans even more reason to come to town.
Oh, yeah.
So that Caps Pens ticket is always inflated. It's even more inflated now because we play their football team on Sunday. So our fans can't afford to go to the game. I talked earlier about how my crew can't even get in, right? And the problem is there's no parking left either. They are flooding everything. And I want our fans to understand, don't be discouraged, because we talked about this months ago on a pod. The old Snyder regime sold blocks of tickets to ticket brokers. Those brokers, they're selling these tickets on the secondary market, right? Those contracts are up next year. So all of that is going to change next year. But the reason why the market was so flooded is because these brokers had thousands of tickets. If they set what the market is on the secondary, then our fans get priced out. Those Steelers fans come in. So I am curious to see what you're going to run into in that red zone lot, because I did see them advertise, and I turned a bunch of Steelers fans away that wanted to come out to the tailgate. I mean, unless they were recommended by someone I knew or someone that had been there before.
I can vouch for them, yeah.
Yeah. Go to your Steelers tailgate. We are a burgundy and gold first. We take care of our family, unless you're being vouched for. Other than that, go to that red zone lot and wreak havoc out there. I don't want to deal with your yins or ass in my lot, but we'll see how it goes, man. This is not a Atkins friendly tailgate that we're throwing this weekend. There's going to be a lot of French fries on top of they put French fries on salad out there, man. It's just, that's how weird. Yeah. It's called a Pittsburgh salad. It's just French fries. You just throw French fries on anything.
I may have to break out the shoulder cam this game. I may have to.
I told you, I'm curious to see like a rally perspective going through the lots and seeing what's going on, because this is going to be an interesting one. This ticket is hotter than the Cowboys ticket or the Eagles ticket, which says a lot. And that was the Cowboys ticket before Dak got hurt. And we know how many never been to Dallas Cowboys fans live in the DMV.
Yeah.
And
Closest
this
thing to
ticket
Texas
was,
they've ever been is Texas Avenue.
is there a Texas Avenue? I don't think I've ever stepped
Yeah,
foot on
there's
that
a
street.
Texas Avenue.
Yeah, that's probably in a part of town I don't want to be in, but I've definitely never driven on that. If Waze probably told me to go there, I would just slam on my brakes and then immediately hit reverse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're the one bringing Cowboy fans on your bus to New York this past, or not Dallas fan, people from Dallas on that bus.
Hey, they were Commanders fans from Dallas, so don't get it twisted, all right?
Still worries me, man. Still worries me. But I mean, going back to Russell Wilson, I agree with you. I would rather face Fields over Russ, just because Russ has been in this league for so long and he's seen it all. And this is actually what DQ had to say about going up against Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is back behind the center now. May not be the quarterback of scrambling all around that he was earlier on, but could you talk a little bit about facing a quarterback like Russell Wilson, being a veteran that he is?
Yeah, and the thing that when I think about Russ, the first thing that pops to my mind is this is a remarkable deep ball thrower. And it's what he has absolutely earned and been known for down inside and outside the pocket, where he's got the ability to be able to throw on the run, 50, 60 yards down the field to a spot that only, his receiver can get to it, or off a big play pass. So that, to me, is what, sets him apart, is he's got a, strong arm, big hands. He can absolutely rip it, but it's the downfield big shot plays. When those explosive plays happen, those are game changers. And that's what I think Russ's superpower is. Like, deep ball accuracy is not everybody has that.
So over the last 2 games he's played, he's got 542 yards with 3 touchdowns, 0 picks.
542 in the air?
542 in the air. He got 278 against the Giants and 264 against the Jets. Right. And the Giants got a good pass rush. So he actually got sacked 4 times. And we talked about it last year when he was with the Broncos. Russ isn't looking to extend plays with his legs. Make plays with his legs. He's looking to extend them. And he's done a bit of that. So we've got our hands full going up against this guy.
Yeah, well, hey, I believe that the coaches will have our squad up for the game, and we're going to do what we do and hopefully be 8-2. That's what I'm hoping for, bro. I can't ask for anything more than that. Maybe they'll have a daytime light show to get the fans pumped if they need to be.
So Mark Guy was on with B. Mitch and Finley, and actually I think B is on vacation right now, so he's talking to Logan Paulson, and Mark said that the old lights, if you turn them off, you'd have to wait 15 more minutes so you can turn them back on. So part of that money they invested was to change those lights out and do stuff like that for us. That 90 million or however many millions of dollars they did. And I'm fine with the old lights if that means my season ticket prices don't go up. Don't get me wrong. It was a fun, couple of minutes.
Oh, they're going up.
Oh yeah. I'm worried about that too, man. How can they not, considering where we are and what's going on? And it won't hurt as much when you raise it. Granted, we're getting to middle of November. Tell me, let me know now. Don't spring it on me in December like you did last time, right before Christmas. So,
yeah, and we know they're listening. So there you go, guys. Don't New Year's Eve, or like you said, Christmas Eve, or the week before Christmas, put this on us, because we still are trying to get Christmas gifts. All right.
I mean, Mrs. Tailgate's still mad I canceled Christmas last year. So, I mean, why do you think I had to get a puppy?
You got to double up, brother. Oh, I feel for you.
But speaking of feeling for, I'm hoping no one's going to be feeling on Jaden in that pocket, because I am worried about the Steelers defense, man. The Steelers have just always had a damn good defense. I mean, Tomlin's been there for 18 years, and TJ Watt, dude's got 4 forced fumbles, right? They have just been wreaking havoc. Coleman did well against the Giants last week. Dexter Lawrence. We talked about having a game plan for that. Well, Kingsbury's had a game plan for a lot of good defenses, and this is actually him talking about it.
Seems like every week teams have a elite edge pass rusher, but not necessarily to the extent that TJ Watt is. What kind of challenge does that provide? And do you find that yourself as you're watching tape, kind of cognitively thinking about having to add help or double or chip or all the different things you guys do?
Yeah, when I'm watching tape, when I'm sleeping, all of the above. He's a game record. He's like on that level of certain guys around the league, the Aaron Donalds, I know he's retired, but where it's like, okay, going into that week, we've got to know where he's at on every play. And if we leave one play where he's not accounted for and given extra attention, then that's the play that can change the game. He's that down of a player, and he plays with that type of effort. So, yeah, definitely one that keeps you up at night.
I mean, TJ's PFF grades, right now, he is averaging a 93.7. That's his freaking average, right? I mean, his stats aren't up there in terms of sacks, but he has been so disruptive that he's just been wreaking havoc left and right. And it's not even just TJ you got to worry about. They got a guy named Highsmith over there. Alex Highsmith has been kicking ass. And then an old Redskin player, and yes, I said Redskin player, Preston Smith, just got traded over there.
Just got traded. I saw that. Yeah. I saw that, man. So, but Ted, at the end of the day, man, in my Ric Flair voice, in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. So there ain't all gloves are off. It's time to knuckle up and get busy, because 2 days in the wake up, the Steelers will be in town, or one day they'll probably get here Saturday. And
shoot, I'm getting here Friday to go to that Caps game if I'm the Steelers. But yeah, I know.
So at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do to maintain our home field advantage. And it's probably going to be 50-50. I don't want to go any more than that. 45-55, maybe. But we got to do what we got to do. And we can talk stats, we can talk coaches, we can talk players, but it's going to come down to football, a hard-nosed football game. And I know you'll be there. I'll be there. I need everyone to be there to root this team on, because in order, you might as well say, the path to the Super Bowl starts with the Steelers. How about that?
Well, I mean, we're finally getting into the meat of the schedule. We're one game ahead of the Eagles. The Eagles got the freaking Cowboys this week, who don't have Dak. And the one time you want to count on Dallas, you can't. And it just makes me sick even saying that. So odds are the Eagles are going to win this week, right? And I don't know what we're going to do this week. I think this game is a toss-up. I know we're favored, but that's because it's home field. I don't know how much of a home field advantage it's going to be on Sunday. There's a gentleman that sits behind me, and he hasn't missed a game in 20 years. He's going on a freaking family cruise, a reunion cruise, and I'm sorry, kick me out of the family. You don't do that during football season, right? And he gave his tickets to a Steelers fan.
Oh, gave?
I mean, I think he sold them, but I don't think he marked it up like he could have marked it up, right?
Yeah.
And I'm bringing a Steelers fan to the game, but he's a good friend of mine that I do some TV with. So, it is what it is. They're going to be there, and there's nothing we can do about it. But there's something the Commanders can do about it, is just don't give their fans anything to cheer about, right? We shut down the Bears fans until the fourth quarter. They had nothing to cheer about other than, I don't even know what we did for halftime. I mean, if I'm them, I'm probably cheering during the light show because they came back on and we were probably worried it just would have been off for 15 minutes. But we just can't give the Steelers fans anything to wave those stupid ass towels for, right? I'm glad we're waving burgundy towels and we're giving those out, but realistically, they wave those towels, and my boy Tim from the Tailgate brought this up. They're waving those towels when they score a touchdown, right? Or do something good. You expect me to wave my towel when they're scoring touchdowns? I mean, I don't know if I'm happy that it's not a white towel, because I remember how many years we have given away white towels, and it's like we're waving in the white flag at that point.
The
So
towel rock. Yeah.
at least they dyed these things burgundy. But I don't know, man. For you, what do the Commanders have to do? Give me 3 things the Commanders win if this week.
Defense pressuring Russell Wilson. The front 5 pressuring Russell Wilson. And I'm going to say our offensive line keeping Jaden good to go. And last but not least, coach has got to coach a hell of a game against Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, that's DQ's a hell of a coach. Kingsbury, all the guys, they're a hell of freaking coaches. Mike Tomlin is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And that's what scares me. 13-4 off of a bye. That's what scares me heading into this week. But JP Finley likes to say you can't fade. No fade in Jaden, right? And part of me wants to emotionally hedge and put money on the Steelers. Either way, I'll still be happy. You know, that's what the junkies do. They put money on the other team just so you're still happy one way or the other. If I lose the money, whatever, even though I need every penny I can get right now. But this game really worries me. If they weren't coming off the bye, and if it was Justin Fields, then I wouldn't be as concerned. But because it's Russell, because he's a grizzled vet, because their defense truly is a good defense, where they rank, I think defensively, they are second in points per game, right? And they're only giving up 14.9 offensively. They're not a juggernaut. They're getting 23.5, but their defense is probably one of the best that we're playing this week. So for me, the Commanders win if we keep our offense on the field, right? We've got to convert third down. We got to grind this thing out and have those long drives and play smart. None of this guys not coming in for substitutions and stupid mental mistake penalties. The mental mistake penalties where we have 12 men in the huddle, or we're not getting subs in on time and just dumb stuff, or wasting timeouts. Like, you can waste timeouts against the Giants like we did last week going into halftime, because Jaden can, buy you some time and make up for it. You can't do that against good teams. And this is really a good team. This game will be a true test if we're partying at Pat O'Brien's in February. Second,
I agree with you on that. Go ahead.
You have got to shut down their pass rush. I mean, TJ Watt, we have not come up against a guy like him. He has got a motor that does not stop, man. So being able to do that and handle that, and one way to do it, it's just not have the defense on the field. Third, you cannot settle for field goals. You have to score points. And they're only averaging 23. We're averaging 29. So yeah, that's fine. But lately in the red zone, we have not been doing as well. We have got to score points. And on top of the fact that Seibert is on the DNP list right now, I don't know if that means they're going to have to bring someone up and sign someone to the practice squad or what's going on. But Seibert ain't going to be automatic if he's got a hip problem right now. So who knows what's going to happen. I'll give my prediction. Shoot.
The only thing I was going to say is they had a much better team in 2020, and I know this is in 2020, and we beat them. So it can be done. And what were you about to say?
I don't know if that 2020 team was good, man. That 2020 team was smoke and mirrors. Roethlisberger was straight trash that year. Their defense was winning them games. And yes, we did beat them. And they were actually talking about how the Steelers are undefeated on Monday night. That was a Monday night game. They got moved to Tuesday because of COVID that none of us were able to go to, but best be sure we watched it on Tuesday. And yeah, we took them down and they were 12-0. This is just a different team, just like we're a different team from back then. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. I can't pick us to lose, man. I'm riding this as long as I possibly can, because I believe that our coaching staff is just as good. And Tomlin has been there for 18 years, but his offensive coordinator's been there for 1. You know, he's got some newer people on his staff. And I think we have a chance to actually do this. We do what we need to, and then we go up to Philly, and you still got spots on that bus. So anyone looking, hit my man up. But I'm thinking we still come out victorious, even though I'd say the deck is probably stacked against us, at least the worst has been all season. What say you?
Yeah, this is the test. As I said, I believe that the road to the Super Bowl starts this week. Not to say that the other games have been cakewalks, but like you said, we're into the meat and potatoes of our schedule, and we're really going to see what we are really worth. So I'm looking forward to it. 2 days in the wake up. Let's get it on. I hear the music playing in the background. If by chance you do want to come to Philadelphia with me, I have spots available. It's going to be a primetime matchup. Jump on the bus with us. Forget about the driving. I'm even going to serve some adult cocktails. That's right, you heard it. I'm going to have a couple adult beverages. So you'll be good to go.
Any cheesesteaks?
I'm not going to have that. I said
Okay.
beverages.
You know me, man. I'm always thinking one
Yeah.
my
I
gut.
see. Now, I will bring something. Don't know what I'm going to bring yet, but I'm going to bring something. And thank God that Sunday is a holiday for everybody. Or Monday, I'm sorry. Monday's a holiday for all our veterans out there. So thanks for riding with us, guys. We appreciate it. And we'll see you on the flip side. Commanders up, Steelers down. You rep it hard or you don't rep it at all. Tailgate Ted, Rally Captain. Hopefully we go 8-2. Peace.